What is up, everyone? Happy Tuesday. Bradley Jack Design here. I thought I turned everything off, but I didn't. So, whoops. Let me pull you guys up in chat. Let's see here. Hit this button. What's up, Elijah? All right. We're mainly going to see if we can get Photoshop to work. Because I just restart my computer and Photoshop's like, yeah, dog. That's a no from me. I'm not going to load. So we will see if we can get Photoshop to open up. Photoshop is open. Let me see if I can... Yeah, program error. It's the weirdest thing. Usually I reset some stuff when I restart my computer and do something a little bit different. But I didn't this time. So it's just super weird that is even happening. Anyway, we're going to make a cool Dayton Flyers graphic because I'm a Dayton Flyers alumni. I got the Grizzlies on again just so we can have ourselves some fun. Basketball. Because that is what we're doing. So... we're just gonna make a graphic, see what happens, and go from there. So Elijah Weaver is a player for the University of Dayton Flyers, which is where I went to school. And I told him I would make him something. Actually, he asked me if I would make him something. I said, yeah. Figured I would do it on the stream. Kill two birds with one stone. So I've got a couple of photos of him. I already did a little bit of editing too, and a couple of little things. So I'm going to pull those up and in here. And I also pulled a bunch of stuff just for inspiration that I'll show you. And I got some basketballs here. I bet you guys can't guess where I got the basketballs from. So I got some basketballs here. And here's some inspiration. I'll just toss these in here as well. And we'll see what happens. Let me check something. So there's just cool stuff. You guys have probably seen a lot of this stuff before, but just composition wise, bunch of big D Wades. I liked the composition here with these little side things I want to do, just little things like that. This was cool. Again, just tiny little things. I think we're going to do a composition and add some of these tiny little details later. So that's what's going to happen. And then we've got this. I just thought was cool. Cool stuff. I don't know. This is the kind of stuff I look and find. And then, that's where I get inspiration from. Maybe I copy something like this or just have text really small aligned to the left. This is a little bit more on the lines of what we have going on because we've got this sort of side profile. So we're going to go with that a little bit. And then players at the bottom. That's sort of what we're going to do. Is we're going to have him down here. We're going to have a side profile of him. And then maybe basketball up here or something. So here's a bunch of stuff. Here we go. Now we're cooking with gas. So I'm going to just start off with this photo of him. Just a nice casual photo of him. Cut out already. Nothing fancy for the cutout. Nothing fancy for the edits. Just standard general stuff that I usually would do. Let me hit a couple buttons real quick. All right, cool. So, I just cut him out. This was the original photo he sent me. Did my usual edits to it. Whitened his teeth just a little bit. Brightened everything up overall. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to give this a color overlay of black. And we're going to use this as sort of a base of the composition, this big side profile of him. Now we're going to clean it up a bit because you can see there's some spots. Yeah, you know what, EJ Kibble? I was actually looking at one of his videos today to be literally I was looking at one of his videos today. What does he do edit? What edits does he do? What camera raw does he do? Man, does he do. Does he does. So I'm going to actually... In one of the photos I have, I saw what he did on one of his posts on his YouTube channel. And I added them to this photo. So we're going to see if we like that, if we don't like that. What I'm doing right now is I'm just going to smooth some of this stuff out. I could probably do this in the initial clipping, but I'm just going to do it here real quick. So I just have a big circle, which gives a pretty flat surface. Just bring it back here on the back of his neck and just get rid of all these bumps so it's real straight. Just because. I just want it to be nice and smooth. Even if it looks like somewhat manufactured. And then, you know, there's little things of hair up here. Just tweak those a little bit. All right, so we got this. So my idea with this is I've got a couple photos of him. I've got a photo of him looking like this and a photo of him looking like this. Now, as you can see, the colors are very off, so we're gonna have to match a lot of that to it. Yeah, where's Henry and Porter Garrett? Put him on blast on Twitter. Let me tweet at him real quick. Henry, I think, has actually just moved. Because he was going to be on the stream with me. But he said something about how he was moving. He doesn't have any Wi-Fi or something like that. So as you know, we do big, little, littlest. Or big, little, littler. So we're going to do that with these guys. So I think it would be cool if he was coming out of his... whatever we want to call this. His side profile silhouette. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click this, convert it to a new smart object, drop it below, go in here. We're going to delete the layer mask. Save, go back. Hopefully it is all aligned. We're updating smart objects. Here we go. That's weird. Oh, because I need to go to image, reveal all, and that's going to undo any cropping that would have naturally happened. We'll go back here. And it'll update the smart object here, which looks terrible because it's got all these edits on it for some reason. Oh, this was using... Hold on. I'm usually full screened, which I am now. So there's like hella edits on this. All right. Here's the original photo. So we're going to save that and go back. Except the photo's in the wrong spot, as you can see. So I just need to move the photo there. No. How is the photo smaller? It doesn't make any sense. Let me change the X and Y to 0 and 0 there. Now it's in the right spot. So now it should shift back over. Should be right behind him now, which is good. So then I can make a group out of the back silhouette and then attach this to that. And then I can mask out this bottom area. So now it looks like he's walking out of his silhouette. So I think that's just a really cool effect. So that's one thing I wanted to make sure I did here. You know, we might make it bigger, we might make it smaller. Maybe we have half of him coming out. You know, I'm trying to think compositionally what I want to do, because I could have him over like this. I could move this guy over to here and maybe even make him... No, I think he's sized fine. But if I wanted to put another one, maybe we make him real small down here like this. I want to add depth with some of these images. So, you know, depth-wise, it'd be nice if we had it like that, because he's behind him and in front of him. But I also don't want to cover up, you know, his face. You know, it'd be nice to put him over here. But if I do that, we've got a little bit of this guy here, but we can always Photoshop that out. Maybe we'll do that. Why are you legally obligated to ask if I got hired by the Maple Leafs? Can you answer that question, sir? Let's do this. I think that looks good. We just need to go in here and Photoshop this guy out. Now, usually what I would do here is use the vanishing brush but I don't have that selected. I'm under contract with someone in my DMs. Well, I'm not going to answer that question. Because you're not going to be open with me, I'm not going to be open with you. But no, I did not get hired by the Maple Leafs. I would like to know who's asking just because that's fun. So go ahead and tell me in a DM who's hitting you up and asking you these crazy questions. Did you want me to get hired by the Maple Leafs? Or did someone get hired by the Maple Leafs? Oh, it was you. You're the one asking. All right, let's see what that looks like. It shouldn't look too bad. Oh, what's up, Josh? They're coming along. I'm going to send you a V1 tomorrow. I was working on the base card today. So I should be able to... I got a lot done that I wanted to get done for some stuff that was due today. So I was able to get a little bit of a head start on that. So I'll send you some ideas of what I've got going on now. This is Josh. I'm making... Yeah, Porter, exactly. No, I'm making him some sports cards, which is fun and super cool. Like actual sports cards. So, all right, I'm spending way too much time photoshopping this guy out. All right, he's gone. All right, so now we've got this area here. Got these two photos of Elijah Weaver. We got him in the front, in the back. So this one in the front, I did a little bit of what I think Enrique does, or edited it a lot more like that. So like when he goes into camera raw, what he does is he boosts the clarity up a ton, but dehazes it, which actually brightens up the whole image and then adds a bunch of texture. So I'm going to add a bunch of contrast to this to see what I like about that. Because what I don't like is like he's just really blown out. But you know, we can do that, but then I can go up here and I can add a curves layer and I can adjust that back down and up however I want. So we'll see what that looks like. But he always has like these really nice, some of the photos he finds has really nice drastic stuff applied to it. So here's the issue. One, that's too much. Let me dumb this down a bit. Take away the dehaze a bit. Let's do that. So the issue we have now is these skin tones are like hilariously off. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do let's do a color balance. Photo filter might be better, but in general I want to add blue because I want to dull down the color of his skin. You know, kind of like that. But really what I want to do is I want to have a selective color. I want to add cyan to his skin and add black, which is going to deepen it. It's like giving someone a tan almost. I don't want to play with the yellows or the magentas too much because it's going to tweak the colors. But the yellows we're going to add. We're going to darken these up a little bit. But then his skin tone in general is just too... It's a little bit better, but it dulls everything. His skin tone in general just is complete. This is very warm. This is very cold. So it might actually be easier to add a selective color to this and go into the yellows and take away a lot of the cyan, add in a lot of magenta, add in a lot of yellow, add in some black. And we're seeing what this does to his skin tone. So if I add a lot of red, you see it's darkening the red up a little bit, which is good. But I want to take away some of the magenta, and I really want to color it up. So this is really coloring it. So that actually doesn't look too bad. This has too much yellow in it. So I'm going to go to the reds. I'm going to add some magenta to bring it back to like a similar state. So these are close. You know, they're not this. exactly the same, but they're better than where we started. And that is pretty much all I want. As long as it's better than what we started with, sounds good. So we got these two guys here. Now, clearly we don't have any shadows for him here. I wonder if I can... New smart object via copy. We'll go down here. We'll get rid of all these edits and delete the layer mask. And go in here and delete the layer mask. Save this. But we need to go to image reveal all first. Save. Here's the real photo. And what I probably could have done was gone in here and tweak the overall white balance. That would have fixed a lot of the issues, but it's not a problem. Oh, we did something wrong. Oh well. We'll just scooch this over. There. Now it's in the right spot. So we want this to just be a shadow, so if you've seen this before, we're just going to take a... Alright, good. My magic buttons are working. Just going to set this to multiply. I might set it to color burn, but we're going to set it to multiply. And I'm just going to group this together. We're going to mask this out. And then we're going to take a small brush like this. Whoops. 0% hardness. Just going to paint back in some of these shadows. Now I might nix this completely and add some shadows in myself. We'll just see what this looks like when I blur it slightly. Yeah, I don't like how that looks. All right, instead, let's try and use some... I have some shadow brushes that I downloaded that aren't on here. All right, let's import some brushes. Shadow. Cool. Tight. See if I can find these. How's everybody's Tuesday going in chat? Let me know. I should just search my computer for a .abr file, because that's a file I'm looking for. But since I have all this stuff running, my computer's like, hate you. Because I've got so much stuff running right now. Right now I'm just looking in my downloads folder. But you guys don't need to see all the cool work I'm doing in there. Actually, I've got a lot of stuff on my plate this week, work-wise. So like I'm happy I was able to still take the time out of my day and do this like I usually do. I got a lot of stuff done earlier today. Got a couple deadlines I need to hit, including Josh's sports cards, which I will be doing tomorrow and Thursday. I have no idea where these brushes are. What's the issue is there? Oh, actually, no. Let me just steal them from... So I should be able to go into my Photoshop 2021. Go into the preset. Where's everything at? Presets. Brushes. Okay. Photoshop 2021. Preset. Brushes. Aren't they in there? Well, that's annoying. I'm drinking fruit punch. Get them at Costco. You can get them in big good deals. All right, here we go. Here we go. Floor shadows. Can I just do this? No. All right, I found them. So I want to add. This is how you import brushes, by the way. You import the brushes, and then you go to where the brushes are, which are in my downloads folder, and then you type in. You find where the brushes are, and you hit open. And now here they are. All right, floor shadows. Got them. Okay, these are the ones I think Dean put out that I did not see before. So let's take a look at what these look like. I'm gonna zoom out so I can actually see what's going on. This is actually pretty sweet. That actually looks kind of amazing. I want. So this is the ball. I want another foot shadow in the back like this, but I can't see where it's at. Actually, I can just put it on there and then move it. There. Okay, those look pretty sweet. All right, let's hit save. Elijah Weaver. Okay. So we got Elijah Weaver going on here. We've got some depth going on. I still don't like the skin tone that we've got going on here. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little cheating. And we'll see if this works. I haven't done this in a while because the results may vary. But I'm just going to take a brush of his and set it to... Yeah, see, usually you just set it to hue, but I do that and it's still the same color. And if you set it to color, their arm just looks stupid. So we're going to turn these back on. We're going to get this. I think I just need to add one more adjustive layer. I need to get rid of some of the yellow. But I need to darken it a bit. But I also need to take away some of the magenta. I don't know. We'll deal with it and move on. So this is what we got going on. Now he sent me specific photos to use. Now I don't think I have a good photo to put right up here. So, and you know what? I looked for photos of him. I couldn't find many. Oh, I was going to put a basketball up here. That's what these basketballs are. Got this basketball. I'm going to put it right here. I was going to put it so it's kind of the back part of his head. So we can try and do that. So we'll take that and we'll mask it out. So it blends into his head like this. We'll move it over a little bit. Go this way a little bit with it. So the inspiration I had behind that, so like I saw this, which was cool. So they have a photo here and then it's straight down. So if I wanted to do that, I would have to move this whole thing down, which I can move it to about there. So let's sort of emulate that. So, you know, I'm taking the sort of composition from that poster, which is fine to do. Let me invert this. I'm gonna duplicate this, uninvert it, whatever. Set it to 50%. Let me invert it again. I'm just making a brush big enough that I can make this bigger. I'm basically just trying to get rid of the shadow at the bottom. Like that. So there. So we have this tiny little shadow that I can just get rid of real briefly. I need to get 2 endorsements for this stream. I need to get endorsement by Body Armor, and I need to get endorsement by Envato. Because they're present pretty much every single time. Let me save this to my desktop. Go here, right click, replace contents. I'm just gonna find the basketball like this. There it is. So I'm gonna delete this layer mask and actually let's like rotate it slightly like this maybe. We're gonna go into it actually. So what I want to do is I want to cut it in half. So we'll go like this. And now we have half a basketball like that. We can kind of have half a basketball on the back of his head, which kind of looks weird. Kind of cool, kind of weird. You know, we can we can adjust and pivot from here if we think this looks like he's wearing a helmet, which he is, so we're not going to do that. I mean, we'll still do it. Whoops. Wow. This doesn't want to select anything of what I want. Wow. That's really weird. Anyway, I'm just going to select half of this again. Since it's slightly different. We'll have it there. I'm actually going to go in and I'm going to move this over so it's just there. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so now we have this basketball we can play with. You know, theirs was like this in the composition, so then I would have to make everything a little bit smaller, which we can do. You know, still good down here. Still not coming into any really big issues here. Let's name some stuff so we know what we're doing. What is this? This back? Okay, so this is... Ooh, let me do that. This is back Elijah. This is back. This silhouette. I think I actually spelled it right. Front Weaver. Last name's Weaver. Okay. So this basketball is cool and all, but it's the wrong colors. So I'm just gonna take the colors from his jersey, and we're gonna color it. I don't know how we're gonna color it yet. I've got the University of Dayton hex codes here, but their red is really magenta. It's very magenta, and I don't want to use it, so we're not going to. But we've got the blue here, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this. And then that's going to allow us to paint in this green area. Now, an easier way of doing this would probably just be, I mean, I'm going to use the selected mask, because then I can just hit delete. There, that's actually probably the easiest thing to do. So I'm going to duplicate this thing called a...
Radiant map.
So this is their hex code. So I'm going to put in the other hex code now, which is this. But you can see it's very pink. Like if I invert this, it's very pink, which is not good. Like I can make it darker, but it's still pink. So like I like to just make it actual red. We'll just drag this over a little bit to make the insides red like that. And then we'll figure out what the heck's going on here behind there. There. So now we've got this basketball. You know. Oh, you know, it's selected around everything but him, so that's funny. Yes, Noah. We found that out now. All right. So we'll group this together. Basketball. I did a lot of stuff for the University of Dayton at my job before COVID. So I think I actually have a good amount of like Dayton stuff on a hard drive. I'm going to boost this up just a little bit, because I'm looking compositionally where this is. And we can do some cool stuff with this. You know, we can still have his face in here. You know, maybe we have his face and it's ghosted a little bit on the front. Everything's going pretty good, Noah. Porter's in here asking if I got a job with the Toronto Maple Leafs. You know, being weird and stuff as usual. So... like, this is okay so far. You know, it's not groundbreaking. I'm going to mask out some of the front here just so it is... oops. not duplicated on his face. Yeah, Porter, I was telling you were telling lies about me getting a job with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Huh. So I like this side. I don't like what's going on here, though. So we got to figure out what we want to do there. Let me, tell my computer to stop backing up. And then let's find some Dayton stuff I made. Mainly I have their logo in here. So I'm going to implement that. But from our inspiration, you know, I'm probably gonna put his name up here. You know, like have a lot of overlap. If I could spell. You know, Elijah Weaver. You guys have any font suggestions today? It's always fun to ask you guys for font suggestions just because I always use Dharma Gothic. But it's also fun when I get a freelance project and they're like, hi, one of the fonts they use is Dharma Gothic. And I go, oh no, I guess I'll use Dharma Gothic. So move that down here. I'm going to do 11 because he's number 11. Give me a good tall font that has good numbers. If you have one off the top of your head while I look for some of this Dayton stuff. Oh, see, like similar to what we're doing right now. You know, Footy Graphics just posted this really nice Messi design. It's, you know, a billion cutouts, but it's got a similar feel here. He's got a much better side profile photo. But that is besides the point. Dayton. I think everything's under UD, or the University of Dayton. Oh, here's a cool banner I made. Big Dayton logo down there. I wonder if I can find that. The issue is a lot of the stuff that was cool that I made at my old job doesn't exist anymore because it's not on my computer. So that's super fun. Let me see what this is and see if I can open it. Surprised I don't just have a logo on here. Garrett, what are you retracting messages for? Here we go. Here's some Dayton stuff. So I'm trying to find... Dayton. We'll open this up. We'll take a look in Illustrator. Really, no one has any? There are 0 suggestions. I've got 40 people in here and there's no suggestions on fonts I should use. Now, Dayton uses a font called Vitesse, and I hate it. It looks like this. Mainly, it's just chunky and wide. All right. Got some cool stuff on here, but all I'm going to do is steal this logo and paste it. And we're going to paste as a smart object. Boom. Dayton logo. Got it. It's right here. It actually kind of goes pretty well with this basketball. That's kind of convenient. Like if I line it up like this. Like, you know, that's kind of fun. It doesn't line up all the way though. Oh, I guess I can fix that if I just resize it. Just resize it down. Resize it up. Resize it down. We're gonna make that sucker exact. Or close to it. Man. Real close. It's better. We're gonna go like that. Alright. Now this should probably be red. So we're gonna give it a color overlay. And we're just gonna make it red. I should make it the same red. This. Or somewhere else, but we'll just do that. And let's play around a little bit. We're going to give it a bevel and a boss, but I want to give it a drop shadow. Why have 8,000 drop shadows in here? We're going to give it a subtle drop shadow right now. Of like 4 and 8. We're going to bevel and emboss. This is a gloss contour, which is not what I want. I don't even know why that is loaded right now. Like, that's weird. Just give me a normal one. All right, 50, 50. Zoom in here, you see we're just giving it a slight bevel. 2-inch bevel, sounds good. Duplicate that. Do I have an action here? No. Or no, stream actions. Edit image, unsharpen. No. Okay. So we're going to get rid of all these. We're going to give this a color overlay. And then we're going to do our filter. We're going to blur it. Gaussian blur at 4. And then we're going to motion blur it a couple times. Straight up and down. 15. And then filter, motion blur again. And we'll do 30. I did 300. Don't do 300. So this is going to allow us to move this down a little bit. I actually want this to be more. Okay. It's not looking how I want. So we're going to try a couple things. I just think it's too bright. Or it's too dark. Now I'm going to set this to normal, then I can set this to multiply, or color burn, or overlay. We'll just do that. And then on top of this, logo. Man, see, you're here, but you're not here. I think he's saying you would have a good font to use. So we're gonna do one of these again. Or we do one of these again. Or we put it on top of it like that again and set it to like overlay or soft light. Or screen. Ugh. It's on the drop shadow too. That's the worst. It's the absolute worst when you lock something to something. It's also on the drop shadow, which is still on the drop shadow. Okay. Color overlay goes here. This goes there. Drop shadow and the bevel and emboss are fine. Do I need to bevel and emboss this here? Yes. Sorry, so I need to group this together then and then do that. Man, I eventually got there. So there. So now it's shiny. Instantly shiny. That is one shiny looking D.
That's what she said.
All right. So I need to go into this original image here of Elijah, and I need to fix a lot of coloring. So the reason why he looks so different in blue is because in the original photo, he's just surrounded by blue. Like he's pointing on this blue light. So I need to go in here. I need to make a new selective color layer. I need to go into the blues, or actually the magentas. I need to turn down the magenta, turn down the blue, turn up the yellow and black. Nope. Okay. Garrett, is this where color balance might work better? Bleh. Vomit. Alright, this is when I'll go in here. Oh, that would work. I'll accidentally do that. Let's clip this. So I can select some stuff down here and put it up here. And it's just set to color. If I set it to hue. So I can go like this and paint up along his arm. And I'm actually using this clone stamp tool. But really all it's doing is it's just taking the color from his arm down here and applying it up here. So it's getting rid of that blue. We're going to do the same thing to this leg. We're going to grab this leg. We're going to paint it on this leg. And you can see what it's doing if I go somewhere that's like not where I'm not supposed to go. You can see what it does. But this is another good way of painting if you have a layer set and set the color or hue. And I can just go in and mask out spots I don't want. Like, I don't need it on his sock down here. And I don't need it up here on his pants slightly. And set that brush back up to 100. I could probably use a soft brush here and just kind of hit it close to the edge, because if it bleeds over, it's not that big of a deal. Now if we go back here, his arm isn't purple anymore. His arm is the color of his skin. So that actually looks really nice. I'm actually going to go back in real briefly. And I'm going to grab... I'm actually just going to use a regular brush for this. But you can see what happens when you do it. It can look like that, which looks really bad. So I'm going to take a soft brush because I think his face is still needs a little bit warming up. So let me just actually, no, let's do this. Select this soft brush. I'm going to paint it over here. Color, hue, color, hue, color. So what I would probably need to do is be real delicate about where I hit on here. Because some parts of him, like that looks, his chin isn't just yellow, you know? So you can do a lot of wrong here on accident. I'm actually going to set my brush to 50%. Which is going to paint more subtly. So I can go in, I can add a couple little layers to this. But now his mouth is real, you know, weird looking. So let's go in here. We're just going to tweak some of these. So I'm going to go to my adjustments. I'm going to make another selective layer. And I'm going to do the magentas actually and take away a lot of the yellow and a lot of the cyans. And then the reds, we're going to take away a lot of the cyans. I'm going to invert this. And I'm just going to paint this around the mouth. So it's going to make his mouth nice and pink. But not the rest of his body. And this just may look super weird in here. Actually, you know, it looks fine when we're zoomed out. And that's the beauty of it. Is I'm zoomed out so much that we can't really tell what's going on. All right. So we need something going on in the background. And I feel like there's too much space here. It's just like, compositionally, it's bugging me. And that's just from working and designing and knowing what I like. I would rather have this up here like this. You know, something like that. I would rather have. Equal space. So we've got the Elijah Weaver copy here. We're going to hide that. So we've got the Dayton logo. We got the basketball. I need some stuff in the background. Like, let's look at some of this inspiration. So like this just has a color. So I could use a Dayton color. That would work. This just has a color. So like this, subtle texture. It's usually what I do is subtle texture. This has a ton of stuff going on in it. You know, different textures here, texture, texture, which Nick is really good at doing. So I'm going to choose what I'm going to do and then change immediately is I'm going to just grab this. We'll grab red. We'll grab this. We'll grab blue. I'm actually going to grab their blue again. Dayton hex code. Pop back here, paste that in. Here's the issue. And I came across this problem with the... What do you guys think? Which way? I came across this problem when I did some stuff for the Big East, is when you have a nice gradient map like that, it looks terrible. So you got to go to the magentas. You got to kill the magentas. So what that's going to do, it's going to get rid of some of the red. I think what I did was I actually did maybe a hue and saturation on the magentas, and I just changed the hue. I mean, that's doing some cool stuff, but it's not what I want. I think that's what I did. I went to the selective color, went to the magenta, lowered the magenta. So now it's kind of just dead, which is fine. That's kind of what I wanted. So we got that going on. We got this. So we've got like this perspective right here, going on. But what is this? What's going on here? Is that from the initial image? We gotta fix that. This is what happens also when you put like a color in the background. You're like, what the heck's going on? So I'm just gonna take this and we're just gonna fix that real quick. So I'm just taking the stamp tool and stamping along there. Basically just reconstructing his chin a little bit. There you go. Hopping up here. I usually use a soft brush for this. Go in here, get rid of some of the color detail that might bleed off the sides. And as long as you're matching the same tone in darkness, it should look fine. So that's why I keep grabbing different spots. So like I'll grab dark of his chin just on the inside, just so it's enough that I can fix that. Like this right here. We can go in, fix the edges like this. Maybe we go like that. Now his eyelash is just black. So, we can go like this. Because you're not really going to know. And then we'll just fix a little bit of that. So that looks better. Much better. I think what we're going to do is, I think we're going to just do the blue. Because I haven't done a lot of like really blue designs in a while. So we're going to take that blue. We're going to make this blue darker. I'm just stopping it down a little bit. So I'm going to go up and down just sort of 2 steps. And then have this nice light to dark gradient going on in the background. I'm just really trying to think of how we can push the envelope on this composition here. And this is still just really bugging me about how this looks. Let me go to the color balance a little bit and add a little bit of green. It just helps a teeny bit. Okay, got cool stuff going on here. Dayton. We're going to have his name somewhere. Let's add some texture along the sides. That's going to force our eye to look inward. I think that's what a couple people have done a really good job of. Get the inspiration like this. It has a border. It's got a border on the left and the right of just that black sort of texture. So that's what we're going to focus on and pay attention to. So I'm just trying to think if I have any of those. I don't know if I have anything. Oh, you know what I do have, actually? And we're going to make it white. Oh, do I have them on here though? Like, that's the problem. So I have these edge and fold brushes that I got from Retro Supply Company for free. And you can get them yourself also for free. But I can just click a couple times and boom, look, it's a border. I can take this one. I can make this a border along the edges. And, you know, maybe we want these to be on top of everything. The issue is when you click them a couple times, you know, you can click them once and they do that, which is a very subtle border. But I usually want it to be a little bit darker. But subtle's not bad. Maybe we'll go back to the subtle. And then we can choose from there. But they've got some that are pretty straight. But check them out. Retro Supply Company. They have a lot of really nice free stuff you can download. Like, a lot of people ask, like, oh, my opacity's set to 50%. Keyshawn, the shadow brush is, I believe, Dean Davies, the ones I was using. I had some other ones from someone else, but I believe these were from Dean Davies. If you want to check him out. He had the link open for a while. I think he just has them available. If you go to his Twitter, I think he has a link to them. But they're actually very, very nice. So we're just going to add some edges. So I'm just like grabbing random edge brushes and just to add a little bit of, you know, je ne sais quoi to this. So like part of what I did for like my 365 was like, I downloaded this pack and was like, all right, cool. Let's use these somehow. How can I use these? And they're not looking right now the way I want them to look. But that's okay. Yeah, I thought I downloaded them and uploaded them already to something else. I don't really care for how that looks, but I think if I throw a paper texture over everything, like this, it'll look kind of cool. Let me just throw this in the background like that. It could look better. Let's put it behind everything. You know, it's okay, is what I would say. Grab a gradient map. Nope. Gradient map. Maybe I just need to make these a different color. I'm going to give these a color overlay of this medium color. And then we're going to put this in a different group and we're going to set it to multiply. I think that'll look better. I think the black was too distracting. So actually we're going to uninvert this and set it to multiply. So now we've got a dark sort of who's a what's it going on in the background. So let's grab his name again. So I got his name right here. So I'm going to make a border. It's going to do 100 pixels. And we're going to use this as sort of guides to where we want to put his name. So I can put his name right down here now. I can tuck it down in this corner real nicely. Elijah Weaver. You know, we can, maybe we change this logo. Maybe we just completely nix the idea of having the logo there and we do something like this. So I'm gonna hide this logo now. I'm gonna get rid of all these effects. Just gonna put a big date logo up here in the corner. Give me other suggestions for this for his name. Give me something else. And actually, what I'm gonna do, I have this random big piece of ripped paper. I'm gonna put it right there. And then underneath it, I'm going to take this with a normal brush. Okay, a normal brush with a big softness. I'm going to fill a little bit more of this in. There we go. All right, so then where's this piece of paper? So I have this ripped piece of paper. I'm just going to take one of the other, like, I'm going to take one of the other photos. I'm going to steal some stuff from some other graphics I've done before. Is this what I want? I think I want this Jalen Crutcher graphic. Maybe. I hope this is right. I don't think I've made many Jalen Crutcher graphics though, so it should be this. These are some of the photos he sent. So I'm just gonna figure out which one I want. So I got that one, this one, maybe this one. Oh, I was trying to open that in Brokenville. I guess I should look and see when I made this. I did make a couple Jalen Crutcher graphics, actually. Yeah. Ah, here we go. I want this. You know what? It keeps opening in 2020 instead of 2021. I gotta drag and drop. Hold on. Drag and drop. Oh, I still have 2021 open. That's why. Oops. Hit button real quick. All right. So I want this photo of Dayton. Where you at? Where you at, Dayton? I just want this photo of UD Arena. And I just want to put it right here. Or maybe behind him. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll have UD Arena coming out like this. Let me just delete whatever this layer mask is and hide this whole thing. I could actually have them in the parking lot and then have that bursting out. That might be cool, but not realistic to what we're doing. Can't see what's going on here. All right. No, so what I was going to do was I was going to take one of the photos he sent me. Let's find a good one. He only sent me a couple photos. So we'll use this one. And we'll just drop this in here. We'll drop this on top of this ripped paper. Let's make this ripped paper black and white real quick. Because if I make it black and white, I can make it a lot brighter. Like this. Kind of. Except we just want to make this. I can set this to multiply. Actually, what I want to do is I want to take this. I'm going to convert this to a smart object. Drop that on there. Drop this on top of itself. Set it to screen, but invert it. There, now it's got a little bit of an effect to it. But actually, I want to group these together. Do this. I'm going to duplicate this. So what I'm going to do is then put this on top. Like that. And if I just rotate this around, I can just kind of fake some edges where it's ripped. I don't usually do this ripped paper technique because it's overdone, but I want to do, you can't avoid it sometimes. And it's not the whole piece, it's just this little area I'm doing. So I'm just trying to find a straight edge. So if anyone has any good like Paramore recommendations or anything like that, let me know. Yeah, putting it in the background is probably a good idea. I got an idea what I want to do for it, what I want to do with it right now, but that might be a easier idea. Hitting buttons I shouldn't be hitting. Let's just do that. Duplicate. I've seen some people do like ripped paper edges like this, which is really smart. You just take the existing edge and you just basically mask it back. I don't need to do it everywhere. Maybe I'll just do it like that. I think that might work. I don't need this, especially if I just set this to normal. I think that's fine. And then we can give this... I can actually turn this back on. And we can go to this logo layer. And all these crazy logo effects. We can just throw it on top of that and then move it down. So I moved over the effects, but I need to move over the smart filters too. So I moved over to the logo, not this. There. So now it can have a little bit of depth to it. You know, is it too much, too large? Do we even like that there? Good question. Maybe we don't. I think the positioning and the image is a little odd. Mainly because, like, based on the images he gave me, there aren't any good ones of him, like, emotionally doing stuff. What is this? Oh, this is a good image. I found this image online. Should really put this image down here. So let's toss this image in here instead. I'm going to get rid of this top layer. Actually, I'm just going to set this to be real subtle. Okay, so let's do some editing to this photo here. So I'm going to go to my sport actions. I'm going to do my generic one, and we'll see what that looks like. It looks okay. What I've been doing, though, is I've been taking the camera raw recently and changing that to luminosity. And then duplicating the whole layer, putting it up here and setting it to color, which makes it look a lot cooler. So I'm going to go into the camera raw, and we're going to bump a bunch of stuff up. Make it a little bit more like what Enrique would do, just because we're playing around and experimenting. And since we did that, we need to adjust the contrast. And I'm going to do that with a curves layer. Drop down the tones a bit. And I think that looks a little bit better. Oops. Okay, so now we have this piece of paper thing. Paper. We can move this wherever, wherever I want. Do we want it up here? Do we want it right here? I think I was going to put an 11 somewhere. So the word of the day for this is layering. So we've got condensed. So what a nice, I'm going to end up using Dharma is what's going to happen. I'm going to be like, oh, I really need a condensed font that's really black, really dark, but really tall so I can do something with it. But then there's always just Druck, which is like, what's up? I look nice. What about B4? No. What suggestions do you guys have? It's just going to be right here popping out. So it needs to have some sort of, let's put it in front of the paper actually, but behind him. You know what? Let's make it like something cool. Like this. Something's got a little bit more basketball vibe to it. like that. Maybe we put a little bit of a number symbol, which hopefully exists. Yeah, no, you do that. I think we might go with this, though. Just need to make this 11 a little bit smaller. So we're going to convert these to a smart object. Go in here. We're going to do a little bit of a spray paint technique to make it a little bit more hip. So we're going to group these together. We're going to make a new layer and make it black, because in order to use our threshold, which is what we're going to use, convert to smart object, adjustments, we're going to throw that threshold on there. Go like this. Filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and we can see what happens already. That looks cool. I think I can change this to dissolve. Kind of like that, but not really. Okay, so then I have some spray paint brushes, which I love to use when I'm doing spray painty looking stuff. And the only reason I do stuff that like kind of looks like spray paint is because I have these brushes that work really well, and I don't remember where I got them, but they're really cool. Add that there. Is that a big... Of course, when I load them up, they're 5,000 pixels big, so I always have to make them crazy smaller. This is cool. I like how these look. Just little blobs every once in a while. I'm actually going to delete this, and I'll show you why. And I wonder if these are going to look better if I have them outside. No, I want them in the threshold. That's fine. Duplicate. See what other ones I've got in here. I'm probably going to need some that are just like a little bit of overcast like this. So I can hit some spots. You know, a little bit like that. This will be nice. Whenever I try and do this with text, I try and make it so it's like the same width, so it doesn't look that out of place. So like I'm going to try and make this look like it's the same height as the cap there, like that. So I'm going to convert these to a smart object, and I'm going to Gaussian blur these. Oh, that looks... No, I don't want to Gaussian blur these. I want to duplicate it. I want to set one to dissolve. But I'm going to lower the opacity like that. Let's just add... Do I have... I want just some sort of overcast spray. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go like this. And I'm going to go like that. I'm going to set this layer to screen. So I can get rid of some of it, add some back, get rid of some of it. Rotate the brush a little bit like this so we can hit some of the inside. Rotate it back around so we can get rid of some of the outside. Rotate it back around so we can hit some inside. Oops. Then rotate it back around to hit the outside. And then... Dang. Dang. There we go. So we're really just trying to get it. And I could probably do this with a general brush like this. Just a little bit of overspray splatter. So save that. Go back to our design. Set this to screen now. Like that, which is kind of cool. And then filter, pixelate, crystallize. Lowest layer is 3. So it looks like that. Which is kind of nice. Maybe a little too big. Maybe we just make it a little bit smaller. But since we did that, we just added a lot of grunginess to it. So I'm going to add this. We're going to stretch it a little bit like this. But what I'm going to do... Actually, I should just give this a threshold layer like that. But invert it. And then take this and drag it all the way over like this and then uninvert it. No, invert it. That's fine. Group this together, and then can I invert the group? No, I can convert it to a smart object and set it to screen. Let's throw this in the back. There. Enter. Save. Back. I want to do more to this background silhouette photo. So I did some camera raw to it, which I usually do, but again, we're playing around. So I'm going to really boost this up, but then dehaze, because I kind of like how that looks. But then I just need to go in here, I need to go to my curves, and I need to drop down the blacks a little bit. And darken everything up again. We'll see what that looks like. Did that change anything? Should have. I can't. I mean, you can really tell up here. It looks really bad. It looks really bad in his hair. So I'm actually going to take a filter. I'm just going to actually use the brush to get rid of any filter that's on the hair, like this. And then save and go back. And then it's going to darken up completely. Yeah, like that. And then actually what we'll do is we'll go up here, make a new layer. I'm going to hit S and grab some of his hair with a brush that's actually going to be set to multiply at like 20%. And we're just going to darken up these edges. So it's going to take some of the light that's in the edges and we're going to get rid of it. So it's going to darken up like that, which I think looks better. All right, get rid of some of this stuff. See what's going on. So this is where we're at. I think it's cool. I think we are probably gonna put like a genetic. See, I don't want to just. I think we're gonna do this. I think we're gonna do this. I'm gonna duplicate it. Go like this, go like this. Paint back in here. We're gonna go here. What I'm doing is I'm just gonna make a slight, adjustment like that. Then we're gonna group this together. I'm going to use the polygonal lasso tool and go like this. Let's start here. Fake the funk, go up here, go here, go here. Just gonna quickly cut this out along where I want. And what I'm doing is I'm just gonna go straight over because I think I can fix that with a brush a lot easier, but this is also going to be masked in, or masked out. And masked. Okay, so I'm just going to take a big old brush. I'm just going to mask out the top of this. This is where the pen tool might actually come in handy to do this, but we're going to do it this way because it's not going to take that much longer to do. So I got to save this now. UD Arena, go back here, right click this, replace contents. It should replace both of them, so it's going to get rid of the sky on both of them. Like that. And I can make it a little bit, oops, I gotta select both of them. I can make it a little bit smaller and drop it down slightly so it starts right there. It's just gonna add a little bit of something. And the issue is it's got these cars in there. You can clearly see what's going on, which is why if I have it, if I lower this a little bit, it'll then blend in a little bit better. Man, I need to link these together. Kind of like that. But then I actually want to delete this layer mask. And then just go in here and just get rid of it on my own. Really blend it in. Kind of like that. But then take this back area and mask it out like that. And then on both, we're just going to get rid of whatever's over here. Like right here. So we're going to say the arena starts right there. Okay, that's kind of fun. Fun little aspect. Got that Dayton logo still? Let's put that right here. Behind this Elijah. But in front of the basketball. So actually the basketball needs to go back. Just adding a lot of layers. There's going to be a lot going on in this design over here on the right side. Then the left side's very clean with his name. What are we thinking about this so far? And when I say so far, I mean we don't have much more time that we're going to do this. And I'm actually going to take this basketball and I'm going to delete the layer masks. So now we have a full basketball again. And we're going to make it a lot smaller now. Kind of like that. But now I need to convert this to a smart object so I can go inside and we can actually fix everything in there. What's up, Tyler? Alright, so I want to grab this, 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 and this. Turn this back on. Delete. Throw this up there. Invert it. Go like that. There. That's pretty good. That'll do for now. That'll do, pig. Can someone in chat please tell me what movie that's from? Garrett probably doesn't know because he's 4 years old. I just like how much layering there is to this. A lot going on. A lot of cool photos. Just need to do something cool with his name down here. So we're just going to grab, Dharma Gothic. Heavy italic. And get rid of the Elijah part. We're going to grab Weaver. We're going to make Weaver bigger. We're going to use our guides again to make this exact. It's not from the Goonies. Come on. Come on, guy. You're better than that. So we got Weaver down there. Maybe I don't want it italic. Maybe I just want it heavy. Straight up and down. And then maybe we do Elijah in red to contrast. Now, red's not going to contrast well with the background, as you can see, but I'm going to have it on top, and I'm going to use that same Subway font. I'm going to use a Subway font. Let's use this one. I'm going to make it white. I'm going to make it red. I'm going to make it black. So now you can't even read it. But we know it's there. What do you think I can do to make it so that's legible? I mean, you can read it, but not really. But it's just supposed to really be there as some sort of textural element. So it kind of doesn't matter. Elijah Weaver. I group these together. I want these to be like down here. I want these to have all this texture on it. Yeah, that's better. I do think we're missing something from the background. I don't know if it's more texture or what. Yeah, I don't want to give it a stroke. That's the issue. If I do this. Let's just do this instead. Now the bright areas come from the bottom. It's not any more legible than it was before. We got the Dayton logo up here again. I think we can get rid of this now, actually. What is this? Where's this at? Delete. I could get some sort of brick background. That is true. I think I know a good texture I could use. So in my stock images, let me pull bridge over so you can see what I'm doing. Walls, do you see walls? I've got floors. It might be under floors. What does this look like? Yeah, that works. White brick. White brick is great to have as a textural element because you can always just multiply it and then you just have bricks that are white. I should really probably incorporate a little bit more Dayton elements, but you see there's a lot going on. There's an awful lot going on here, which usually I do not like. So let me get rid of this border. Okay, we'll do that. Multiply with like 40. Got that going on. Got some cool stuff there. Got 11 up there. It still needs some stuff over here. It's super heavy on the side. So I need something over here still. So in the last couple minutes, let's see what we can do. First off, let's go like this. Convert this to a smart object. Let's do some camera raw filters to everything to glue everything together. But we're going to cancel that. I haven't even touched color lookups. So one of these color lookups is going to look super cool. Like this one. That's a 75%. I also haven't applied any sort of lens dirt or any sort of lighting effect from Ethan J's bundle at all. So something is clearly wrong with me. Doesn't really need one, so I'm going to use this sort of like kind of faint one. But it would make sense if we have this on here because it's lighter up top than it is on the bottom. It's like a TARDIS sort of thing. I can make Comic Sans good in the design. I could figure it out. Alright, a little bit of lighting. That looks great because we've got lighting up top. I didn't even do any of this standard lighting yet, so like anything. Like go in here and go to adjustments, select, modify, contract, 3 pixels, and then we go to curves, and we blow that up a bunch, and then we invert it. And then we take this and we make this like 4.5 pixels, and then we go here, and then we make the underlying layer. If it's really dark, it doesn't apply. Then we go down here and we take it away from the bottom here because we don't want it there, but it really just barely brightens up the outside of his face, so that's good. I think I want to make his face more red. Based on this guy here, I think I just need to go boop, boop, red. That's better. Better. Okay. Background's still a little bit too not cool for me. If I do that, that'll help. Where's this Weaver text? That is Daviva. Weaver text. I'm gonna set this to screen. I guess it doesn't matter because I'm going to take those edge brushes has a like paper crack on it. Like this. Just gonna make it super smaller. It's So it's not giant. Zoom out so I can see how big this is and what it looks like. I'm just going to do that. Oh, the Elijah, I should really probably have spray painted on there. So we're going to do that really quick. Smart object. Needs to be white, though. White. Make bigger so we have area to work and do stuff. Make new layer. Make black. Throw to back. Take this. Right click. Convert to smart object. Filter. Blur. Gaussian blur. Too much. Let's do 3 pixels. We need to put a threshold on top of it so it looks like that. We're just going to hit it with a couple bits of this. Let's hit it with blob spray. Let's do a little bit of... Make a new layer so I can be really finessed with it. Let's actually make this... dissolve. Can't see any of this. Let's just see what this looks like real quick. It looks fine. So I can set this to screen now. Actually, I can set it to normal, make a new layer on top of it with red. But I want this turned off, so it's this red. And that is going to be multiplied on top of this. Multiply, we're just going to turn it red. So if I take this and just do this layer and click over a little bit, it's just going to say Elijah. And then we're going to pixelate, crystallize, 3. I'm going to copy this actually, make a new channel with that in it. Just select it, go back here. And then I can filter that to do this and then there. And then set normal there. I don't know if that looks any better. It's not even it's not legible at all. Scrap it. Hold on. Can I just hit this button a couple times? Blah 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 blah. Go back to 6. There we go. All right, Elijah Weaver. Save. All right, we got a couple minutes. Pretty much done. Let's just put a couple more textural elements on top of it, like we like to do. That includes the Bradley Jack Design Standard Lens Dirt. Let's throw this one up here. Throw these all up on top. I don't know, let's do that. See what that looks like. Sure, adjustment, levels layer on top of that just to move it over a little bit. It's there. I want to add one other, like, sort of spot hit on it. Like a little hit of rainbow. Like this. Kind of like that. Just so there's some fun little rainbow to it. And then we're going to throw these right here. We're going to put these all underneath the color lookup so everything blends together. Save. New layer. Convert to smart object. Filter. Camera raw. Let's do some final tweaks to this. Let's bump the clarity up a bunch for no reason and then say, okay, that's what that looks like. Cool. Let's put it back down to normal area. Let's do 10, negative 10, 10, 5, negative 5. Texture, let's add 15 texture. Clarity 15, sure. Dehaze 8. Let's bump up the vibrance. And then color grading. Do we want to do any global color grading to this? Maybe some blue to add a lot of blue. Do we want to add a lot of red? The red's going to dummy down the skin tones, but if we add blue, it's just going to add a little bit of funk to it. and then a little bit of a vignette. Boom. All right, I think that's it. I think we're done. I think we did it. Thank you guys for joining me once again for another lovely stream on a Tuesday. This was fun. We did something way different than what we usually do. We got a bunch more cutouts with it. Made something for a guy that goes to UD, which is cool. I think I'm going to add just one quick thing to this. Dust. I think it needs just a little bit of this. Just a little bit of that. I don't know, something like that. So, again, thank you for joining. I'm happy you guys were quick to select to spend your time with me today. I will see you guys next week. Take a look at my Patreon if you guys are not familiar. It's pretty cool. You can have access to this file and all of my other breakdowns. The biggest definitely draw of that. You guys can hit me up anytime. We got another subscriber and it actually worked. Thank you, Liam, for subscribing, and thank you for triggering the Jay Cutler GIF. Love to see it. So, for the last time, thank you for joining me. Make sure to like and subscribe if you guys haven't already, and I will see you guys next Tuesday.